All right. Now, in the beginning, I had said that in Java, we always have to declare the type. But in the very first lecture, I had also said that Java keeps changing. So one of the things that they had introduced with the Java 10 and for the future part is that they had introduced this var variable, which comes from variable, var. When you use that, it actually becomes like more Python-like coding. So what does it mean? What I mean is that when you say var and then your variable name, and the equal sign, and then the value. If you put there a string, then Java will understand that, okay, this is a string. If you put a number in like an integer, okay, it is an integer. So as in Python, it will recognize the variable data and act accordingly. So this is something that Java introduced with the Java 10. So you can also use it in your code. Now, yes, please.
Will we be using var in the exam? Will you let us use that?
Sure. I mean, as long as your code is valid in Java, why not? I mean, if I do it, please warn me, like you said, okay? You can say that my code is valid, my code works, then that's fine. All right. Let's first trace a code with you, okay? Just to understand now, let's see a whole program. So first, what we do is public, we will see it later on, but it means it is accessible by any other classes. And for the class names, when we say public class, it means that that file should have exactly the same name of that class name, which is compute area. So this should be a compute area.java file, okay? And this is our class file. And then our main methods, public, static, void, main, and then the parameters. This is, again, let's just memorize it as it is. Later on, we will break it down when we see what is static and so on. So when we say double radius, so basically we are declaring a variable named radius, and it allocates a memory for radius, but it has no value. Then we declare another one, area. So we, again, in the memory, we declare another, we reserve another space for this area variable. And then we say radius 20. So we basically write 20 in this, in the memory for the radius variable. And then for the area, we first do the calculation. We read the data from the memory, radius 20 times 20 times pi, and then the result will be written in the memory for the area variable. And then, well, basically we will print the area for the circle of radius is, and then the radius, we will get it from the memory again, is 20 is the area. We will also get it from the memory, and we will see a code like this. All right. Do you have any questions so far? Then I'm moving on. For the arithmetic operations, it's mostly similar to what Python does, so I will go a little bit fast. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus operations, as in Python. And it's exactly the same with the Python in most of the cases, but the only thing might be different is the integer division. In Python, when you write 1 divided by 2, what will be the result in Python? 0.5. If I say 1 / 2, then it will be 0, right? An integer division. In Java, so when you say, if you try to divide two integers, the answer will not be 0.5, the answer will be 0. So basically, it removed the decimal part. Like 7 divided by 3, if and as an integer division, the result will be 2. So the decimal point will be always removed when we do an integer division. If you want to get a 0.5 as a result, then you should use float numbers or double numbers. Then you can get a 0.5. Otherwise, if you divide two integers, it won't have any decimal points.
So
If we do 1.0 divided by 2, we'll get it, right?
Yes, if we say as a literal 0.5 divided by 2, then Java will think that, okay, this is a double number, and I'm dividing it with an integer that is doable. So yeah, you will get a decimal number again. You'll get like 0.25. But if the two numbers are integers, then the result will be also an integer division. So which means that the decimal points will be ignored. I'm going on. And for the precedence, I think it's same with the Python. Like, first we do the negations, then we do the multiplication, division, and modulus, and then we do this plus sign and the minus sign. So it is important why. How do we get this 23, for instance, at the end? Like x is equal to 6 plus 3, minus 4 plus 6 times 3. So we have to first do this multiplication, 18. Then we can do the rest of the operation. 6 plus 3, 9. 9 minus 4 is 5. 5 times 18 is 23. So the order of the operations will change the meaning. So this is why we have to be careful about it. But I think it is same with the Python. So I'm just moving on. For some cases, if you want to group it, change your formula, then you can use the parentheses. Like if you have this kind of an application formula, like you want to first do this separately and then multiply this separately and then divide it, then you have to put parentheses. Then basically it will do these parentheses. 4 times 5, 20. 5 minus 2 is 3. Then 20 divided by 3, but it is an integer division. So the result will be 6. 6 minus 2 and 5, it's minus 19. Is that understood how it's done? Any question? All right. And a lot of things that I will say in this lecture is that our main motivation is, as a computer scientist, we are lazy people. Lazy in terms of typing, lazy in terms of doing some simple stuff, okay? That's why in Java you will see that there are many coding styles that will just reduce the amount of typing. That's the only reason. I had a professor when I was an undergraduate student. He was saying that, he was an engineer, he was saying that I'm working because I'm lazy. So this sounds very contradictory, but actually the main idea is that most of the engineering stuff is to increase the comfort of doing other things. So that's why yes, we work because we are lazy. Like we implement Google because it's so hard for me to visit all the libraries and find the relevant books to get that relevant information. So similarly now, yes, we are pretty lazy in typing, so I want to reduce it as much as possible. And also, the other motivation, of course, is to reduce the complexity of my code so that it will be easier to read. So one of them is just like we can do this combined operator. What does it mean? If you want to say A is equal to A divided B, or Z is equal to Z times 10, for those cases, instead of writing this, you can just say Z asterisk equals sign 10. It means that do that operation with that number on the assignment on the variable at the left. Like y minus equals sign 2 means decrease 2 from minus. So these two have exactly the same meaning. X plus equal sign 5 means x is equal to x plus 5. So basically you add value of 5 to the x. So I will probably use it a lot. So also it will be good if you can also if you get used to this kind of writing. Let's do an example. Let's say that we have these C, D, E, F, G variables. I want you to answer the result for C, D, E, F, G. What is the value of C once we run this code? 10. What is D? Another student, please. 1. What about E? 20. What about F? 2. And G? That's modulus. 3, yes. So I got some frowns in the class. So what is this? Let me briefly talk about it. What does it mean? When we divide the number with that, what is the remainder? Like 12, when I divide it by 9, what is the remainder is 3, so the result should be 3. So yes, the numbers are basically correct, thank you. Well, what about the constants? So what is a constant? Well, first, let me give you the motivation. Let's say that you want to you are doing some implementation, a big, let's say, Qatar universities, I don't know, or maybe in the finance department, let's say, okay, or in the Minister of Finance, you are implementing the software for them. And then they want to change the tax of, the ratio of a tax for some items, okay? Normally you were using that, okay, it was 0.1. And then you were using this 0.1 all in your code. Maybe in 100 different places. You were always, to calculate tax, yeah, you need to multiply it with 0.1, okay? But then the government said that, okay, it will be, well, we'll decrease it. Now it will be 0.05. Then you'll say that, oh my, now I have to find all these 100 places that I put these tax rates, and I'll change all the 0.1 values to 0.05. So, and I hope you don't do a mistake, you don't miss anyone, because if you miss anyone, it means that the calculation for that part will be incorrect, and probably you'll be in a big problem. So, again, I am lazy to find all these numbers. It will be just a headache. It will increase the likelihood of doing a mistake. So what I do is, instead of that, I'll say, okay, let me define a variable in my code. Let's say tax rate, and it should be 0.1. And whenever I will use it, I will just call that thing like tax rate, and I will use that variable in my application. And then the government will say, okay, it should be now anymore 0.05. Then I'll say, okay, that's easy. I'll change my variable in one place. That's it. But the other thing is, okay, this is also for the variable motivation. But the other thing is, I don't want it to be changed by other person. Like, I said that, okay, 0.1, if it wasn't final, constant, if it was just a variable, what will happen is, well, we hired a junior developer, and wow, he did a big mistake. He changed the variable of our tax rate. So because he just decided to assign a new value, 0.2, and then 0.3, he messed up all the calculations, and now we're in a big problem. So what it means is, I don't want others to change it. Like, if you put a variable, and then allow people to use it, it also means that they can change it, but I don't want them to change it because it shouldn't. Like, unless the government decided to change it, it shouldn't be changed. Now, but in the project, like, well, in the maybe Minister of Finance, maybe let's say we have 50 developers. I cannot control all of them, and I can say, okay, please don't change it, please don't change it. If you change it, we'll be all fired. But this is not a good management. What I want to say is that I don't want to rely on their memory and skill, and so I want to force them that you cannot change it, sorry. So I will make it constant. Even though they want to change it, they will not be able to. For these kind of issues, we use constant variables. So like, I don't know, yeah, the sale tax, mathematical pi, whatever it is, we define them. How do we define it? How can I make it constant? If I use this final keyword, then it means that if when I attempt to change it, Java will say that no, you can't change it. It won't compile. It won't compile at all. And again, there's a big convention we have to follow. If you define a constant variable, all characters will be uppercase, so that the other developers will know that okay, this is all written in uppercase. So it means that it should be final, so I shouldn't attempt to change it. So they will know that, even though they don't see the code maybe you just hide them, but they know that variable, they will know that, okay, this is constant, I shouldn't change. That's why it is also important to follow these conventions. Should I move on? Now the string class. In Java, we don't have a primitive type for the textual value. Like we have chars, but chars is actually only for one character. But how about for the text? Like we have, if we need so many chars, we need to use a string. But string is not actually a primitive data type. It is actually a class. So that's why when we are defining a string, its first letter is uppercase. It's a string, but it's a specific string. It has some specific class that it has features that other classes does not have. What it means, I can say string value is equal to hello or whatever it is. Okay. Normally, for the other classes, we cannot do that. Whenever we want to create an object in Java, we should always use this with new keyword. In string, there's a difference. You can do it both. You can either say string value is equal to hello, or you can say string value is equal to new string hello. Both are there are some differences in the backside of the Java, but from a value perspective, yes, they have both same values.
So if we make a class, and can we make like a method to make the class do the same as the string class?
That's a very good question. As long as I know, no, we cannot. So string is a very specific class in Java.
So it has this own method.
Yes. Yes. And well, this string class has very good built-in methods that you can allow, like contains. So if you want to know if a string contains another string, you can use this contains. Start with, if your string starts with some particular text, like if it starts with an A or B, you can check it with this. Or if it ends with index of, basically, if you check whether a string exists in another string and in that string, and then what is its index? Where does it locate in that string? And you can take some portion of it, substring, like I just need the first 5 characters, first 10 characters. Or you can split it, like if you have a whole document and then you split it based on the white spaces, which means that you got the words only, for instance. So you can split it to many places, and you can replace also some character strings within a string. Like I want to say, okay, I want to replace all lowercase a's with the uppercase a's, for instance. You can use 2 uppercase, which means you can, it will convert all the characters to the uppercase, or it will convert to the lowercase. And equals method will basically say, are these 2 strings equal or not? So, and more. So it has many built-in functions that will allow you to do many things, many operations on strings. There's one thing that you have to be careful about, and I usually like to ask this question in quizzes or midterms. Don't use double equal sign to check whether two strings are same. Now I want to do this like a demo, okay? Let me.
Look, when do we use new?
When do we use new? For strings, you can use both, but whenever if we have other objects, you should always use new to create a new object in the memory.
But if we want to update it, change the name.
Excuse me?
If we want to update the name, we use new.
No. It's not. New is basically, again,
We haven't used
reserving
it.
a room, a place in the memory for that object. To declare that object in the memory, we use this new keyword. And each new keyword actually creates a new instance in the memory. Actually, I think that's a very nice question, and I think it is related to what I would like to show.
To use methods. We can't use methods with variables.
Yes, so primitive types does not have their own functions, but classes have. Like string has all these functions. So again, this is the reason
This is object-oriented. We haven't started this.
we haven't started yet, but yes. So let me show this. Do a demo here. I want to zoom in. Here, more. Yeah. So for the string, is it readable by everyone? Let's say, I could either do this, ABC, or I can do this, new string. Both are valid. And I want to do one more thing. I'll create an S2 with the same value. If I say, let me first show it this. It's obvious, of course, but just to show you that, okay, they are same. So normally we use this double equal sign to check whether two values are same. So let me run it. Yep, they are same, as expected. Now I will proceed with my another example. If I say S1 is equal to S2, then I'll say same. Actually, I'll just say the same thing. Oh, I made a mistake here. Oops, what happened? Yeah, I need to put one more equal sign. Else, they are not same. What will be the answer?
What is your?
They are same or they are not same?
It shouldn't work because they have the same difference.
So the thing is, when we do that, the answer will be
They're not same.
they are not same. So I will explain it. To compare two strings,
The locations.
yeah, we should use this equal sign. Then it will say, again, let me copy paste this part. Now it will say for the second one, they are same. So now what is happening? Let me briefly explain it. When we say two equal signs, it is actually comparing their memory location. Okay? So their memory location is different because for each I requested a new location from the memory. So S1 is kept here, S2 is kept here. Then double equal sign is just comparing those things and then locations. And I say no, they are not same. But when I use equals, it compares its values. And then it says, okay, this is ABC and this is ABC. Yeah, they are same.